heavyweight. Vanderlei Silva has been at heavyweight before, fighting the likes of Mark Hunt. And, of course, the last time he was knocked out by Mirko Krokop in the Pride Openweight Grand Prix. But here we go. A rivalry that has spanned 15 years. Will it end tonight?
One of the things, both of these guys have always hated fighting wrestlers. And so I doubt we're going to see a whole lot of takedowns in this fight. I think they're going to stand in the center and they're going to sling, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top.
Rampage Jackson in the red gloves, Silva in the blue gloves. Silva had the longest undefeated streak in Pride FC history at 22, at 20, hold the record for most knockouts in Pride FC history.
And you're seeing Vanderlei actually throw a straight jab, which is, it's getting through Jackson's guard.
A minute gone in round one. Both of them having been defeated by one of our analysts, Chael Sonnen, who, of course, will face Fedor Emelianenko after beating Quinton Rampage Jackson in the opening round of the heavyweight Grand Prix. And Silva winging that overhand right.
And I was waiting. There's got to be a moment. You know Vanderlei cannot hold back. He's like a kid at a candy store. He's got to throw those winging shots.
Silva losing his Bellator debut to Sonnen. But Silva with 35 MMA wins, 25 of those via knockout, and he's tagged by Jackson. And Jackson leaning in on Silva. Jackson with 18 of his 37 victories coming via his power.
Power does not go away, and Quinton Jackson will always possess in both hands just dynamite. And good inside knee by Vanderlei.
Silva trying to deliver a knee on the exit. Under 3 minutes now remaining in the first round. And the first meeting in the final of the Pride Light Heavyweight Grand Prix, even though it was middleweight there. Knee knockout. Then, Halloween night 2004, Jackson fought much better, but Silva still knocked him out with a knee. Jackson's body over the middle rope, blood cascading from his forehead on the canvas. And then, almost, what is it now? 10 years? The knockout
10
in the
years since that
UFC fight.
Both of them, if you look at both of them, Morrow, that knockout at Jackson was one of the most devastating knockouts you have ever seen. And the same in return when Quinton put Vanderlei out.
Head kick.
Oh!
Silva,
nice shot by Vanderlei. That got through.
Right hand by Silva. Again, a windmill right hand.
And even in that victory, when Quinton lost in that second fight, even though it was a knee that we all looked at, Quinton said, it was his hands that hurt me. It didn't matter about the knees.
Past the midpoint of the opening round. There's a jab by Silva. Silva already with a mouse underneath the right hand. Again, that overhand windmill right hand by Silva. Jackson closes the gap, pins him along the fence.
And, what you're looking at is Quinton, when he knocked out Vanderlei, it was that windmill overhand right that he tucked and rolled through, brought up the left hook, and landed a clean shot. That's what Quinton is still looking for when Vanderlei is throwing that big looping right.
Since their last encounter, Jackson has fought 14 times. And again, closing the gap, knee by Jackson as he pushes Silva to the fence in the final minute of the opening frame. Silva guaranteed that this fight will end in a finish. And he predicted that he would knock out Rampage Jackson.
Silva trying to use a plumb on to pull Jackson's head down, didn't work at all. That's the strength of Quinton Jackson's back.
An exchange here with 20 seconds left.
Oh, big shot. Quinton landed a big shot on him. That's why Vanderlei's moving.
Final 10 seconds of the opening round. Jackson saying, hey, meet me in the center of the cage. Let's do this. And here in round 2, Jackson and Silva going to try to pop each other like the victor will be popping bottles here in this 4th meeting of these two MMA icons. Outside low kick by Silva.
That was one of the techniques I really thought Vanderlei would come out with. I think that low kick against Quinton puts a lot of weight on that lead leg, but you got to be careful when you're throwing that kick not to get hit by one of Quinton's hands.
Jab by Jackson, followed by a counter right hand from Silva. 30 seconds gone here in the second. Scheduled for 3. An exchange, Silva shelling up.
Oh.
Now Silva and Jackson swinging for the fences. Vintage stuff from Jackson.
That's what everyone
Silva
wants. That right there is what everyone's expecting, Morrow.
Fistic fireworks here in the co-main event, round number 2. Jab by Jackson. Silva already taking deep breaths here in the second round. Moving up against Jackson, who lands the left hook, just misses with the right.
Yeah. Good movement by Silva. He's seeing it. It's just a matter you got to get your feet moving and get those legs getting you out of that range.
I remember, there's that overhand right again by Silva. Years ago in Pride, asking Silva how long he would fight. He said, hey, how long did Randy Couture fight for? The MMA Hall of Famer, who, by the way, coined the phrase atomic butt drop when Mark Hunt fought Vanderlei Silva in Pride. Left hook,
he's hurt
right
bad.
hand clocks Jackson.
He is hurt bad right now, Morrow. That's why he's got that clinch. He needs to hold on. Quinton should actually try to pull away, open up again.
My goodness, what a crushing combination, and Silva still standing. Tie plum. And now Silva trying to fight off Jackson, now looking for, thought he might go for the guillotine.
Look, we both know that Quinton can swat, and he hit Silva with a clean shot, and he's still there. That's saying something about Vanderlei still having a chin.
Jackson trying to put Silva in a quiet place with his striking and midway point of the round and the fight. How do you have it so far, John?
Right now, I've got Quinton Jackson up 10-9. He's the one that landed the more damaging shots in that first round.
And doing so here in round 2.
There was moments for Silva, but Quinton's the one that did the most damage, and he's doing it again.
And now Silva using lateral movement, then resetting.
That left hand getting straight through.
And here's another exchange. Jackson and Silva. Jackson with the knee. Under 2 minutes left in the round.
Silva taking a deep breath. That action's starting to catch up to him.
The action coming in waves. 1:45 left in the second. Jackson has earned his past 3 victories by decision, the longest streaks of wins in his career without a stoppage.
See, and right now when you're looking at this type of clinch, in this type of clinch you see no one trying to take anyone down, no one trying to do any real striking. This is where you go, hey, work, or I'm going to separate you, separate the fighters, and let the action
right
continue.
Uppercuts on the inside by Jackson, and then Silva wings away.
I think Vanderlei needs to utilize his kicks a little more than he's doing. I don't know what he's feeling, but just hitting Quinton with punches is not the way to get rid of him.
Final minute of the second round as Jackson sticks the jab and gets Silva moving laterally around the cage.
You see those little feints? Jackson's trying to set him up. He's trying to get him to actually explode so he can use that counter.
Jackson lands a jab. Right cross drop Silva. Jackson ground and pound on Vanderlei Silva to the body. Upstairs. It's all Rampage. Rampage evens the series at 2 wins Mamma Mia!
Watch the replay here, Morrow. Jackson slides in, left hook, right hand. Both hitting him flush. Vanderlei standing there stiff because he didn't know exactly what was happening. That was not what finished him, though. That right hand right there puts him down, and then he goes after him. Vanderlei holding on to legs is not stopping the punches. Tries to get his hands up. Jackson goes after the body, head. He's just pummeling him. Beltran's telling him to move. He can't at that point. There's nowhere for him to go. And he ends the fight. Quinton Jackson, TKO victory over Vanderlei Silva. It is now even 2-2.
We're not going to say it, are we?
You will.
Man, all kidding aside, what these two have contributed to the sport of mixed martial arts over the years. 40-year-old Rampage Jackson defeating 42-year-old Vanderlei Silva and evening this rivalry at 2 wins apiece.